After 243 years in this country, the end has finally come to the rule of old white guys. And just as I was about to be one. That's some bad luck right there. And see, that was, the reason it was so bad, that was my retirement plan. When I got to be an old white guy, I was going to be running things. Have y'all ever seen a broke guy running things? So, I guess now that's over, I got to start saving some money and put something back for retirement. But no, I guess, since I couldn't come up with any jokes, I will have to tell one more story about my life. My life. it involves her. She's responsible for the story. So a few years ago, she decided that I needed to broaden my horizons. And so I hadn't been going to near enough concerts, Becky thought. We hadn't been going to enough. So she got us tickets for Kenny Chesney, and we went to Tallahassee and saw Kenny Chesney. Man, he puts on a good show. He had the TV screens, the lights, and the energy, and a lot of guys there, and a lot of girls there, and they were doing their provocative dance. It was just a real good show, so I enjoyed that. So then later, she decided to get us tickets to Carrie Underwood. So, I'm not really sure about me going to the Carrie Underwood concert, but what if it's me and 5,000 women there? And I guess, to a man, being surrounded by 5,000 women and just us, that's not a bad place to be. But then we have to think about what the other guys are going to be thinking about it. So we go in there, we get in, the seats we have, the arena's set up like a horseshoe. We're almost on the end of the horseshoe. The stage is right in front of us. The curtains here, we can look to the right, we see the stage. We look to the left, we see backstage. So we're sitting there, and there's 2 empty seats beside us, and this woman and her teenage son come in, and they sit down right beside me, and we're so crammed in there, me and this woman are sitting shoulder to shoulder. So I just feel like I can't just sit there and not talk to her. So I got to break the ice and talk to her. So I looked at her, I said, the strangest thing happened right before you came. She said, what? I said, I was sitting here and all this chaos going on here, and people coming in and out, and thousands of people. And way over here on the other side of this arena, I heard, "Hey, Dave." And, it caught my attention. So I just went on about my business a few minutes, I heard it again, "Hey, Dave." So I just couldn't take it anymore. I got up and I went out in the hall. I went all the way around. I got out in that section. I started walking through the crowd. And then I heard it again, "Hey, Dave." And I saw it was a lady that yelled it. So I walked up to the lady. I tapped her on the shoulder. I said, "Ma'am," I said, "my name's not Dave." and she was just looking at me like that. And I said, "Look, I promise I won't say another word tonight. You won't hear another word out of me." But she did have a teenage son with her. And, that made me feel better because at least there was a little bit more testosterone in the building. So, if we kind of got a little tired, Carrie, she's a good singer. She's got some pretty legs. But, if you see her legs and you hear her sing, then we may get bored. We may want to go out and talk football. So, and he was just like, we were like 2 peas in a pod. Everything I did, he was doing. Like when Carrie came out on stage, I clapped. He clapped. When Carrie walked out and I saw her legs, I said, "Carrie, your legs look amazing." And he said the same thing. He said, "Carrie, your legs look amazing." So, we were just like that. We were like, and see, when Carrie, she changed outfits a lot. So when she was out performing on stage, when she went backstage, the curtain closed, she was right there changing into a different outfit. So, he was excited about that because he couldn't wait to look back there and see what fabulous dress Carrie was going to change into next. And I was doing the same thing. I couldn't wait to look at Carrie changing. So we were just like 2 of the same people. But no, really, when I look back on it, we were nothing alike. So the Carrie Underwood concert didn't go quite as well as I had expected, but I did think of one joke. So before I close, I will finally tell my first joke. There was this businessman, and he had to go on a business trip to another city. So he would spend all day at his meetings, and he came back at the end of his meetings to the hotel. He stopped by the hotel bar, and he had a few drinks. Well, he met this woman in the bar. They got to talking, and one thing led to another, and he invited her to come up to his room, and she agreed. So she said, wait, before I come up, I got to stop by my room for a second. So, man, that was all. He was glad to hear that because he'd been out all day and he really had to go to the bathroom. So he hurries up to his room, and man, it's getting critical. He's really got to get to that bathroom. He don't know if he's going to make it. So he goes in the room, opens the door, and he runs back to the bathroom, and the maid's in the bathroom cleaning. And she said, well, give me 5 more minutes. And man, he doesn't know what to do. I mean, it's critical. So he can't take it anymore. So he just has to rip the covers off the bed. He grabs the sheet, he throws it out on the floor. He just has to go right there. And so he's sighing such sigh of relief, and then there's a knock on the door, and the woman's there at the door. So he don't know what to do. So the only thing he can do, he grabs the sheet up, and he just throws it out the window. Well, the sheet comes sailing down, and down below there's this bus stop bench, and this old man sitting on the bench. And this sheet just lands right on top of him. Man, it hits him, and he's just carrying on. He's slinging fists, he's kicking and stomping, and just big commotion. So a police officer sees it, and the police officer walks up to him and says, sir, what seems to be the problem? He said, officer, you're not going to believe this, but I just beat the crap out of a ghost.
One more time for Rick, guys. Rick, you fighting ghosts, huh? What were you doing at my girlfriend's house? Oh, wow. I love how Rick was like, I'm not going to tell any jokes, and then tells a joke, and then again he's like, I'm not going to tell a joke, then tells a joke, and then at the end of the set, after he's told 12 jokes, all right, I'm finally going to tell a joke. You can't throw those curveballs, Rick. Can't throw those curveballs. What's happening? All right, is everybody ready for their last local comedian of the night? Yeah, let's ready for that. This guy is a regular here. Who's whispering? Oh, you want to start the cheer? One of my favorite people. Love him to death. Everybody give it up for Mike Thomas.
I hope you don't mind me saying that.
Yes, take it.
Very good.
When we tell jokes, that's what it is a joke. It's not true. And when we're talking about people, it's not true. So don't take it as being true. Okay? Take it as a joke and go on with it. Now, I have 2 or 3 I may tell that's true about my wife. It's not going to be tonight, I don't think. Maybe one night when she's not here. Several years ago, there was a trooper he just finished school, and they had sent him to South Georgia. He lived in North Georgia, and he just finished his academy. He'd been out about 3 or 4 weeks, and he stopped me down going to Blakely. He stopped me at 57 and a 55, and he came up to the car. he said, Mr. Thomas, you know why I stopped you? I said, no, sir, I don't. He said, you were doing 57 and a 55. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm just riding around. And you're going that fast riding around? I said, yes, sir. He says, have you had anything to drink? I said, no, I don't drink. And we talked on for a while, and I noticed him every time he was trying to write a ticket, he was hitting at the flies around it. And I said, sir, I see those circle flies are really tearing up your face, really getting on your face. He said, yes, sir, they sure are. I tell you what. He said, where did they come from? I said, well, you can pretty well all the time see them at the back end of a horse. he said, And then he thought a minute. He said, Mr. Thomas, are you calling me a horse's ass? I said, no, sir, I've been in law enforcement for a long time. I respect you. You've got to slow these speeders down. I wouldn't disrespect you like that, sir. He said, well, I appreciate that. And he said, I'm going to give you a warning. I said, but you can't fool them flies. I wasn't prepared tonight, so I've got some notes. A few years ago, I was under a lot of stress. I mean, a lot of cases, a lot of stress. And I told Beverly, I said, Beverly, I want to go have a castration. She said, Mike, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do, and there's no sense in trying to talk me out of it. She said, well, we need to go talk to Homer in the morning. You call and see if you can see him in the morning. And so we went to Dr. Breckenridge's office in the morning, and Homer said, Mike, you don't need a castration. I mean, what's wrong, I said, let me tell you something, Homer. If you're not going to do it, I'll get somebody else to do it. You'll be here at the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I was there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and operation was successful, and he said, Beverly, you need to come about 3 or 4 o'clock and walk with him around. He needed to walk around for a little while. And she did, and we were walking down the hall, and this man was walking like I was walking. I said, sir, I see you had a castration too. He said, no, sir, I had a circumcision. I hit Beverly. I said, Beverly, that's the dang word I was trying to think about. When I was state court judge in Miller County, there was a lawsuit, and above all, Roger Cook was the only witness that saw the. He was the only witness they had for the civil suit. They picked a jury, and it was time to swear the witnesses, and they called Roger Cook to the stand. The defense attorney said it. We swore him in, and the defense attorney says, isn't it true that you were paid $50,000 to throw this case in the defendant's favor, plaintiff's favor? Right? He's just looking around. He's looking at the juror and didn't say a word. Defense attorney waited a little bit. He said, "Sir, isn't it true that you were paid $50,000 to throw this case to the plaintiff?" Roger, he's still looking around. I mean, he's not interested. And the defense attorney finally got up and he said, "Your Honor, will you make him answer my question?" I looked at Roger, I said, "Mr. Cook, you're either going to have to answer his question or I'm going to have to hold you in contempt and put you in jail." He said, "Your Honor, I apologize 100%. I mean, I didn't know. I thought he was talking about you." Y'all probably heard this one. This is a joke. Several years ago at work, it was my birthday. I got up that morning and Beverly, she didn't say a word. She didn't say happy birthday. I went to work. Nobody at work said happy birthday. I felt bad. We had court that morning, and usually the judge sings happy birthday to people. Happy birthday. Well, I went there, and nobody wishes me a happy birthday. The judge, the DA, none of them at the courthouse. And we came back, and my secretary, which I thought a lot of, she hugged my neck and wished me a happy birthday. She says, "Mike, after work, why don't you come by for dinner and I'll fix some dinner for you?" I said, "Well, okay. I mean, you don't want to say anything about my birthday." So I did. I went there and we ate. She said, "Mike, I'm fixing to go back here and kind of slip into something more comfortable." I said, "Okay." And I got to thinking, I said, "Well, I probably need to be more comfortable too." So I just waited for a little while, and the door where she went in bust open. There was Beverly, the judge, the DA, all the court officials, all my friends singing happy birthday. And I was sitting on the couch naked. This one, I'm glad to see Terry here tonight. I talked to him yesterday, and he was sick. And I called him. I said, "Terry, what's wrong?" He said, "Mike, I had this cow that was sick and down, and I don't know what was wrong with her, but I took the vet came and looked at her and said, 'You need to stick this pill up this cow's rectum.' You take," Terry said, "How am I going to do it?" He said, "You take this tube, this little round tube, and you stick it up there, and then you put the pill in there and you blow quick. And it'll go inside of that cow." Well, Terry's not the fastest person in the world. He did everything the doctor said. He put it up there, put the pill in there, but the cow blew first. just a note here that, you know, if a man talks dirty to a woman, it's called harassment. Always has been. But if a woman talks dirty to a man, it's $6.50 a minute. There's reasons women and men have different reasons for having sex. Women have to love you, have to be friends with you. They have to have a reason. And some have reasons for money, you know, but there has to be a reason. Men, they just need a place. This is one, I guess I'll be through. My first year of college, I couldn't get a date. I would ask a girl for a date and no, turn it down. I tried the prettiest ones, the ugliest ones, or whatever, but I couldn't get a date. I was having a problem. And I talked to a friend about it, and he said, well, Mike, he said, I know this Chinese doctor that he's helped before. And I said, let's go talk to him, and I'll go with you. All right? So we went to see him, and we told him my problem, and I just couldn't get a date. He said, okay, come on back here. He said, Mike, take your clothes off. So I took my clothes off. He said, get down on all fours. I said, well, okay. And he said, I want you to go really fast to the wall. So I did. I took out on all fours to the wall. And he said, now I want you to turn around and go really fast back to me. And I did. I turned around and went that fast to him. And he was shaking. I looked at him and he was shaking his head so terrible. I said, Doctor, what is it? He said, you have the bad disease of Zachary. My heart almost fell. But I said, Doctor, what is it, Zachary? He said, that means that your face looks exactly like your butt. Can I tell one more? All right. Y'all heard this joke, I'm sure. But Robert Greer back there used to help me when I first started practicing law. And we had a case that he had to go to Reno, Nevada. Reno, the playtime is legal, okay? And Robert went up there and he went to one of the playhouses and he said, I need to speak to Erica blank. I'm not using that name. She says, well, she works here, but she is very expensive. Now we have some that medium expense, you know. He said, no, I want to speak to Erica. I'm not worried about the money. So Robert went up there and saw Erica, and she said, "Sir, it's going to be $1,000 if you want to spend the night." Robert said, "No problem." He gave her $1,000. Spent the night, got up. Next morning, same thing. Wanted to see Erica. Same thing, $1,000, no problem, spent the night. He did that for 3 consecutive nights. And she said, "Where are you from?" Robert said, "I'm from Colquitt, Georgia." She says, "You know, I have an uncle in Colquitt, Georgia." He said, "I know. I work for an attorney, and he left you $5,000 in your will, and I'm here to give it to you."
Give it to me, you will. Give it to him.
I can tell y'all one more about a club I joined. Roger, this is on Facebook, so y'all might have heard it anyway. So, Roger Cook had a poker club going every Tuesday night to play poker. He wanted me to join. Sure, I talked to Beverly, and she said be fine. So I went every Tuesday night, and Roger said the first Tuesday night of the month you're going to have to do a speech on sex. Okay. We went to the meeting, and I did a speech on sex, and came home a little late. And Beverly wanted to know why. I said, "Well, tonight's when I had to make my speech." And she said, "What did you speak on?" I didn't want to say sex. So I said, "I spoke on deep sea fish." And made a good speech. It was good. And I didn't want to argue with you all night talking about sex. So I went to bed. Beverly got up the next morning, and she went to the Piggly Wiggly in Donaldsonville. She ran up on Roger. She said, "Beverly, I want to tell you something. Mike did a tremendous talk last night. He is very experienced and very professional." Beverly said, "I don't understand, Roger. He's only done it twice, and one of them he almost got sick." Good talking tonight. Enjoyed it. Y'all have a good night.
Mike Thomas, everybody. Yeah. A lot of sex talk tonight. Y'all are educated. When it comes to sex, I'm kind of like an Olympian. Because it happens once every 4 years. That's a good one. All right, guys. Where's my phone? There we go. That was it for the local comedians. By the way, if you think you're funny or if you're drunk enough one night, come talk to me. And you can be one of the local comics on one of the upcoming shows. We do this every second Friday of the month, and it is always free, unless I'm just that desperate. No, it's always free. But, guys, these comics have driven quite a bit away from the long, treacherous journey of Tallahassee, Florida. Yeah. So, after they get off stage, if you feel so kind in your hearts and your southern beautiful hearts, please throw them a tip because comedy is hard and we don't really like to work our real jobs. Alright guys, is everybody ready for their feature out-of-town comic for the night?
Okay.
Everybody give it up for the stage. He's been rocking mics and showcases all across Tallahassee. Everybody give it up for Andrew Apple.
How's everybody doing tonight? You guys having a good time? Awesome. So like he said, I'm from Tallahassee. I've been rocking mics all around Tallahassee. It's very big, very small. He said my name is Andrew. That's true. You can call me that. I don't have a cool nickname or anything. But I did have a friend tell me once. He was like, dude, if you want a nickname, just take a couple things you like and mix them together. That's a nickname. I was like, that's stupid. I don't want people calling me Pizza Boobs. What if that's the nickname that sticks, and then in 10 years I'm a news anchor? What's that gonna look like? I'll just be on the news like, good evening, Colquitt. That's how you say it? Good evening, Colquitt. For your evening news, I'm Pizza Boobs, here with my co-host, Nacho Dong. And later we'll get sports from Jeff. Jeff, he's into himself. And after the break, we'll go to weather and hear from Clouds and Stuff, who's promoting her book of the same name. Pizza Boobs with the news after this. I would hate the nickname Pizza Boobs right up until somebody made fun of it. Like, because it's my nickname, you know? I hate it. Like, I walk in a room and somebody across the room is like, oh, look, it's calzone tits. And I would just be like, it's Pizza Boobs, you uncultured peasants. So one of my favorite things to do when I need to buy something is go to the store. And I did that recently. And when I went to pay, I noticed that someone had left their debit card on the counter. So I took the debit card and I handed it to the cashier. And she looks at me and she says, I can't imagine leaving my debit card somewhere. And then I said to her, wow, your imagination sucks. You can't even picture it? Like, how come when somebody wants to let us know how crazy something was, their go-to question, their clincher is always like, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I'm always like, yeah, I can. You just told me about something that happened. You want to know if I can think of it? That's easier than telling it. Like, I can think of things that I've never seen. And I've seen some crazy stuff. Like, I was once in line somewhere, and there was a white midget behind me. And this white midget said the N-word. And I was like, oh no, he's a little racist. Little. So I'm 30 pounds overweight. But I'm also 30 years old. So it's cool because I'm a pound overweight for each year that I've been alive. Ta-da! My parents are proud of me. Like, I've kind of discovered that there are no rules to when and how often you can ta-da. And it's not the most manly thing to say ta-da, but sometimes life is rough and you just need some wins. So, like, I just encourage you, if you've had a rough couple weeks, a rough couple months, or maybe you're like, man, I've had a rough 48 years. Just start ta-daing the little things, like you tie your shoes and you're just like, ta-da. It feels like you did something. Wiping your butt, ta-da. Now, if you're in a public restroom, you know, maybe do it to yourself. You don't want to hear someone in the stall next to you all of a sudden just say, ta-da! What's going on over there? So the difference, so I'm 30 years old. The difference between 30 and 20 is 10. But the real difference is when you're 20, you're trying to get in everybody else's pants. But now that I'm 30, you realize, like, I'm just trying to get into my own pants without having to suck in. You know, just like, ta-da! Does anybody remember that singer-songwriter Gavin DeGraw? He had a hit song like 1,300 years ago. I'm gonna bring you into the fold. Okay, so Gavin DeGraw is a singer-songwriter. He had this hit song, and it goes like this. I'm just gonna sing the first part of the chorus. You may have heard it. He's like, I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately. Does everybody know that song? So my beef with that song is that it's way too many words to say you want to be yourself. Like, that's the whole point of the song, and it's so many words. Like, I get it. If he cut the crap, he would just be left on stage like, I just want to be me. And then he would leave, and people would be like, well, that sucked. Like, the only way I would accept that song for what it is would be if I found out he wrote it on the spot. Like, the record label came to him, and they're like, hey, Gavin, how's that single coming? And he hasn't even started yet, but he's scared he's gonna lose the contract. He's like, oh, it's done. They're like, okay, cool, can you sing the chorus for me? And he's like, okay, I don't wanna be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately. Like, I think that song only makes sense if you look confused while you're singing it. It's like he was in the studio just like, I want the song to be about being yourself, but I also want to use every letter in the alphabet 17 times. And the only other theory I have is that's just how he talks. Like he's in a restaurant ordering food. And he's like, I don't want you to bring me anything other than what I'm hungry for right now, which is steak. The waiter just looks at him like confused, scared. You want steak? And he's like, I don't want you to hear any response to your question other than what I say after the word is, which is yes. That was weird. Is anybody else like me just awkward when it comes to compliments? Like, I don't get compliments that much, so when I get them, I don't know how to respond to them. Anybody else have this problem? Like, I appreciate compliments, but I don't know how to accept them. So whenever I do get a compliment, I do want to accept it, but I have to, like, turn into somebody else to do it. You know, someone will come up like, oh, Andrew, you have a nice smile. And I'm like, thank you very much, you've made my day. I have to, like, warp into this other person just to take a compliment. That's a little weird, I know. Mannequins are weird. We don't talk about that as real people. It never comes up, but like, man, I mean, they wear our clothes, they look like us. Like, have you ever been in a store and you bump into somebody and you turn to apologize and you realize it's just a mannequin? But then you go ahead and apologize anyway, you know, just in case. You're like, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Oh, same clothes as yesterday, that's ballsy. Anyways, call me. You know, when you talk to mannequins and then no one laughs, there's not even a mannequin there. I'm pretending to talk to an invisible mannequin. I did get a call, though. It's from Target. I can't go back. They don't like you sticking your name and number in the pockets on clothes on mannequins. They're like, it's frowned upon in this establishment. Yeah, whatever, Brian. I was only mad because I had a gift card there. When you have a gift card to somewhere and then you get banned, the gift card's worthless. Like, I think a gift card is a really controlling way to give money. It's like, here's $20. You gotta spend it at Target. Happy birthday. Like, just give me the cash. Like, it seems nicer, but it's really not. You guys ever forget to hide your depression and then it just leaks out in conversation and you can't get it back? You're like, oops. It's like when you sneeze and you pee a little, you're like, oops. Like one time I was having a conversation with my friends and they were talking about how they wanted to die. And the conversation gets around the table to me, like, Andrew, if you could choose, like, how do you want to die? And I was like, tomorrow. Oh, you said how? Okay. Oops. One thing that used to trigger my depression in my younger days was existential questions. Like, why am I here? You asked that as a young man. Like, why am I here? Why is any of this here? What's my purpose? That's what I would ask myself. I would be like, what's my purpose? And then I had my first child. And I realized, oh, there is no purpose. Life is a thing and it happens. No logical conclusion, no rational